Hi, I'm Andrew Spengler, and this is my build Itter Castle. And basically, I started off, I wanted to make a castle and have it be related to World War II. And so I searched, and there's only a few castles that actually participated in World War II, and this was one of them. It's actually one of the most interesting because the French, Germans, and Americans all fought alongside each other against the SS. So here you can basically see the SS are all along the sides fighting the defenders on the inside. And
Interesting. So if you can give some more, I guess, of that backstory and why the French, Germans, and Americans ended up together fighting against other Germans.
so the castle is in Tyrol, Austria. So right when World War II broke out, the Germans invaded all the surrounding countries. So they took over the castle, and then they took all the French high-up officials, VIPs, and then they were held in the castle. And then towards the end of the war, it was about 4 or some days before the war actually ended, a French Olympic tennis player escaped from the castle, and then the other prisoners, they told him, go find an American battalion. They ended up running into a German battalion, but they wanted to surrender. So they both ended up going and finding an American battalion, and then the Germans, to prove their surrender, make themselves look a little bit better, they offered their services to the Americans and French. So they all came back. There was only a few guards and such, so they took over the castle pretty easily. But then a SS battalion ended up coming to try to retake the castle, and so the battle basically took place, I think it was 3 days before the war completely ended.
So the SS would have been these more hardcore German troops that didn't want to surrender, and they were going till like the last man at the end of the war.
Yeah, the fanatics, the ones Hitler completely brainwashed and stuff.
Well, very interesting. So if you can take us through some more of the build, then one thing I noticed is the great minifigs. If you want to talk about kind of the designs, those, and where that came from?
So the minifigures are pretty much all custom. I took Roglin's decals. I decaled basically all. I think there's only one Brickmania printed figure. All the other ones are decaled, and then all the brick arms are painted. I tried to paint all the brick arms vests as well, and then a few of the minifigures they have the decal underneath, and then I painted on top of that. So those are more the SS, the ones that have the most paint on them.
Yeah, they turned out really great. And then the castle itself here and kind of the bridge, if you can talk about some of your techniques with that, there's a lot of little details in there.
I've had these 3 specific techniques or pieces that I used. I used the masonry bricks, then the 1x1 studs mixed with the 1x2 plates, made a 1x3 brick out of those. And then I used the 1x1 with the stud on the side, and then some tiles. And I just basically, or also with a few other things like 1x1 round bricks. And I took all those pieces, and then I stuck with those. And throughout the whole castle, I just used those pieces to give it that more detailed look.
And as you were working on this, what kind of like sources and inspiration did you use? Like photos of the castle? Does the castle still exist today?
Yeah, the castle still does exist. It's a private castle, so there's not quite as many pictures as I would have liked. Most of the pictures were only of the front view of the castle, so I think that's what I got the most accurate. So I basically mainly went off pictures. So I think I got the front of it pretty good off of pictures. The back was more just trying to make sure it matched the front, and yeah.
Yeah. What's the interior like, sort of the structure inside there?
Oh, the structure inside, it's completely hollow. The main keep itself, that has the most supports on. It's got a lot of filler brick on the inside, and then the other ones have some supports, but they're mainly leaning into each other or onto the main keep.
Yeah, well, very good. I think the build turned out really nice. Another thing you've got is some really good kind of landscaping and trees. You can talk about kind of your hill technique and the tree technique.
Well, I started off, I did most of the landscaping, partly because I was kind of unsure about the castle, so I was doing more familiar grounds, doing the landscaping. So I did a lot of that first. So the outside is pretty much just basic one stud high plus a plate, or one brick high with a plate on top. And then we'll go, as it goes in, there's basically just some plating with columns underneath. So, and then I slowly just had that step up in about a brick high each going up. And then after that, there's a lot of just different colors underneath, and then I started covering those up with the color plating, and then evened it out on the top. And so the top is pretty much just covered, and underneath are just columns underneath.
Worked out very nice. So for people who are interested, how did the story end? What kind of happened to the defenders and the attacking Germans?
Well, so the battle went on. The Americans and French and Germans, they ended up starting to lose, but they sent for reinforcements, and since it was basically the end of the war, 3 days after the war ended, and another American battalion came in and basically just got the SS to leave or defeated them. So the Americans, Germans, French, they did end up winning the battle.
Well, there you go. I think it's an amazing build, and I love the story behind it. It's really interesting, kind of one of those small episodes from World War II that's fascinating to study. So thank you. I appreciate you bringing this build to Brickworld.
Thanks.